Secondly, there was one that was brought up that I did answer, but I didn't give a real full answer to it. It was the whole preferred pronouns thing. And you guys kind of roll your eyes. You're like, man, it's coming up again, third week in a row. Everywhere I go, this question comes up almost every time. So it's something that you guys are facing commonly. So I do want to give a thorough answer to it. And it was the last question that I answered last week. And so I kind of ran out of time and I gave a rushed answer. And kind of went off on a rant of sorts. And I stand by that. But I want to give a parable of sorts that I think will clarify it for you. So if you remember last week, I said, should you use somebody's preferred pronouns? I said no. You don't need to be mean about it. But the reasons why is because doing so is harmful to the other person. Ideas have consequences, and false ideas have victims. And number two, you are signaling your faithfulness and your loyalty to ideas that are, that are false or that are just happening around you that you don't need to be signaling your allegiance to. And so to make sense of that, I'm going to tell a little story, and it's one that I get from a Czechoslovakian dissident named Václav Havel. A dissident is somebody that just opposes a regime. So he was in communist Czechoslovakia, so he opposed communism. That was kind of a tough gig back in those days, because if you opposed the communist government, you didn't last too long. Typically, you got thrown in jail or something. So he definitely got thrown in jail for his writing. And in one of his books, he tells the story of a greengrocer. A greengrocer is just like a mom and pop grocery store owner. And in this guy's town, it's just a parable, I don't think it happened, but in this guy's town, everybody's putting up a sign in their window that says, "Workers of the world unite." And so this greengrocer, this grocery store owner, he does the same thing at first. He puts up the sign because he figures who's it harming? I'm not harming anybody. It's just a slogan. I like workers. I want the workers to band together in solidarity and get their rights. So I'm gonna put up this slogan. Who's it hurting? But over time, he starts to notice that this is a real shell game. That this is just virtue signaling. They're just doing this. Everybody else is just doing this not because they care about workers, just because they don't want the bullies to come after them. And so they're trying to kind of keep a low profile. So they put the sign up to signal, I'm okay. Don't come for me. And so he's like, I'm not sure I'm going to do that. And then he also notices that, hey, this isn't an innocent slogan. It's not just words. You're not supporting workers. This is a slogan that has Marxist roots. And Marxism and communism, I don't know if you guys have studied much history, but I don't know if you know what Gulag is, man. You hear the word communism these days, you think like, oh, communism, we're all just banding together, kumbaya. It's like, no. Communism is responsible for deaths of millions, and starving millions. Wherever it's gone, it's wreaked chaos. Okay? And so he's like, you know what? When I put this sign up in my window, I am signaling loyalty to that regime. And I don't want to do that. So he eventually takes it down, and he suffers the consequences. People stop buying his groceries, and he might even lose his store, or go to jail or something. But at least now he is not living by lies. At least now he's living the truth. And I see this whole pronouns thing kind of in a similar light. It's not just innocent words that makes the other person feel respected. It signals faithfulness to a whole ideology that is wonky when you think about it. Like, one of the things that signals your loyalty to is the notion that your body has nothing to do with your identity. Your body's an essential part of you. God gave you your body to love. Love your body and accept it. Don't hate it. And so when you go along with this whole thing, you're kind of signaling affirmation of those kind of ideas. And if you refuse to live by lies, you're like, nope, not going to do it, then at least you're signaling to other people who might be intimidated, you're signaling to them that they can stand strong too. They don't have to give in. So I hope that illustration makes sense. I kind of gave a rushed answer last week. Just wanted to touch upon that. All right, now.